You haven't seen a universe mode like this. ChatGPT's universe mode in WWE 12 continues on, with the entire state of the WWE now shaken up with new faces on Raw and SmackDown. We've got some huge pay-per-views to tackle in this episode, and we'll begin to set our sights on WrestleMania. You don't want to miss this. Brock Lesnar opens the show, basking in his dominance after defeating Kane at SummerSlam. John Cena interrupts, stating he is coming for the title, and demands a title match. Triple H appears, stating that if anyone deserves the next shot at the WWE Championship, it's him, while Big Show follows, reminding everyone of his sheer dominance and challenging Lesnar for the title. It would then be announced that a triple threat will determine Brock's next challenger. In the first match of the night, the Ryan to Bryan connection are back in the ring together, and they pick up a victory over William Regal and R-Truth. The next segment features Kane cutting an eerie promo in the ring, addressing his recent losses and claiming to be more dangerous than ever. As he speaks, the lights flicker, and Edge interrupts. Edge mocks Kane, saying he's been acting out of character and seems weaker since losing the WWE Championship, setting up a match for next week. More tag team action up next as the team of the VIP take on guys who just competed for the US title at SummerSlam, Dolph Ziggler and US Champion John Morrison. Ziggler and Morrison work well together but argue over who should pick up the pin. The miscommunication allows DiBiase to roll up Ziggler for the win. The main event features the three stars who open the show as John Cena, Triple H, and Big Show compete for the right to be Brock Lesnar's next challenger. These former world champions know what's at stake here, and are ready to put their opponents down for a shot at the championship. The match was chaotic and truly wore out each of the competitors, with each man getting close to victory. Brock Lesnar would then interfere, taking out all three competitors with devastating F5s, declaring no one is worthy of facing him. The show ends with the champion standing tall over Cena, Triple H, and Big Show. SmackDown opens up with Sheamus boasting about his victory at SummerSlam. He is interrupted by General Manager GPT, who warned Sheamus not to get too comfortable, as a new contender will be determined tonight. In the first match of the evening, Rey Mysterio and Evan Bourne secure a tag team victory over Chavo Guerrero and Santino Marella. Rey and Evan Bourne display an exciting arsenal, and following their win, Evan Bourne makes a respectful but direct motion at Rey's Cruiserweight Championship. Wade Barrett, now without the Money in the Bank briefcase, faces Kofi Kingston in the next match. Barrett's frustration is apparent as he secures another victory over the familiar adversary. The main event of the night will determine the next man to challenge for Sheamus' World Heavyweight Championship. Christian, Mark Henry, Jack Swagger, and Drew McIntyre will aim to eliminate the others in order to give themselves that golden opportunity at Night of Champions. This fatal four-way had many different moving parts that made for a hectic environment that anybody could wind up winning, though after hitting a kill switch, Christian was able to give himself a second championship opportunity against Sheamus and the opportunity to redeem his SummerSlam loss. The next episode of Raw opens up with General Manager GPT confronting Brock Lesnar in the ring, accusing Lesnar of sabotaging the #1 Contenders match. He announces that at Night of Champions, Lesnar will defend the WWE Championship against both John Cena and Triple H in a triple threat match. Big Show interrupts, furious at being excluded. GPT then assures Big Show he is not a part of Night of Champions because he has got a title match tonight. The first match of the night puts Daniel Bryan back in the ring against William Regal. This is a match we've seen recently, but these two don't hesitate to deliver another good showing. Regal wins a hard-fought technical battle. Edge and Kane are set to meet next in singles action here. Edge accused the Big Red Machine of not acting like himself since losing his title to Brock Lesnar, which has struck a chord within the masked monster. Kane wins after a tombstone, but the lights suddenly go out. Then, laughter echoes through the arena, and a fiery explosion erupts on the stage. The main event of the evening is a WWE title match just less than a week before Night of Champions, as Big Show is getting one last opportunity to prove he is the most dominant figure on Raw. The champion, Brock Lesnar, has every intention of leaving the arena as champion and walking into Night of Champions with the title defense on his hands. This made for a clash of two powerful superstars, and Brock Lesnar would once again pick up a victory, but his Night of Champions opponents, Triple H and John Cena, attack the champion, and Big Show would even join in, making it clear that Brock Lesnar has a huge target on his back. The following episode of SmackDown begins with champion Sheamus confronting his challenger for Night of Champions. Sheamus snickers and asks Christian if he really wants to go through with another loss in front of the entire world, and Christian then aims to up the ante when suggesting the match be a TLC match. Sheamus was thrown off, but accepted the challenge. Rey Mysterio and Evan Bourne are once again in tag team action together, this time against Justin Gabriel and David Otunga. In a competitive match, the Nexus was able to secure a victory after Evan Bourne would turn on Rey and officially challenge him for the Cruiserweight title at Night of Champions. After the match, Wade Barrett would scold his Nexus stablemates for wasting energy on irrelevant matches, which would leave Otunga and Slater clearly frustrated. Wade Barrett would then go on to conduct business on his own in the next match, as he defended his Intercontinental Championship against Santino Marella. Wade Barrett would dismantle the questionable contender, and after the match, The Miz would interrupt Barrett's celebration, making a case for an Intercontinental title match on Sunday. The main event of the night would feature Randy Orton squaring off against Alberto Del Rio. This was an intense match between two stars vying for notoriety and recognition here on SmackDown. Alberto Del Rio has yet to face someone as cunning and ruthless as the Viper, but his natural talent and athleticism made for a highly competitive contest. These two stars went blow for blow, with nothing seeming to keep their opponent down. The bout took a spill to the outside of the ring, where these two continued their melee. As time became a factor with the ring count creeping, Alberto Del Rio put Orton down just long enough to get back into the ring and win the match by countout. The victory had gone to Del Rio, though Randy Orton would remind his adversary that he still has the Money in the Bank briefcase. We are here at Night of Champions and will kick off the night as Rey Mysterio defends his Cruiserweight Championship against Evan Bourne. Two extremely talented high flyers are set to go head to head to determine the #1 Cruiserweight in all of the WWE. Tensions were high as Evan Bourne hasn't been the greatest guy in the locker room as of late, and Rey is eager to get some revenge on Evan Bourne for his acts just 2 days ago. The legendary luchador that is Rey Mysterio held control for most of the bout, though Evan Bourne was persistent and constantly found ways to keep himself in the match. It was clear these two were prepared, and in what was maybe a moment of insecurity, Evan Bourne managed to win with a small package to become the new Cruiserweight Champion. In the next match, CM Punk and Husky Harris defend the tag team titles against Zack Ryder and Ted DiBiase Jr. in a battle of SmackDown vs. Raw. The VIP has been on a roll since enlisting Ezekiel Jackson as their new enforcer, although Husky Harris has been improving his game while under the tutelage of CM Punk. CM Punk also aided in taking down the cocky stars from Raw as the champions retain their titles. Beth Phoenix defends her women's championship against Eve Torres. Beth Phoenix has been the most dominant female in the history of ChatGPT's universe mode, and she looks to be gearing up for another dominant title run. However, Eve Torres has undergone a bit of an attitude shift since hooking up with Brock Lesnar, and is unveiling a new level of skill and aggression not seen from her before. In turn, she would pull off a huge upset, and another title change of the night would take place here. Wade Barrett defends the Intercontinental Championship against The Miz. Before the match, Wade Barrett is found berating the Nexus members, demanding they ensure he retains his championship. This match was an intense encounter between two competitors that are determined to be recognized as the best in the business, but also share frustration of losing the Money in the Bank briefcase. This would make for a very physical match, as the Intercontinental Championship still provides some of the notoriety these two are after. Wade Barrett was looking for assistance from his Nexus cohorts, though they would actually leave Barrett high and dry. The Miz would then take advantage of the moment and shock Wade Barrett, taking the Intercontinental Championship from him. Dolph Ziggler is receiving one last shot at John Morrison for the United States Championship, but this time it will be in a no disqualification match to truly determine the bigger superstar between the two. They've become awfully familiar with one another over the last few months, and are going to need to pull out all of the stops to topple the other. John Morrison has been red hot since becoming United States Champion, although Dolph Ziggler has been extremely resilient to remain a contender and constantly causing Morrison to have to look over his shoulder. In a personal match, Dolph Ziggler was able to outlast John Morrison, finally becoming United States Champion. Sheamus has his back against the wall as he defends the World Heavyweight Championship against Christian, Mark Henry, and Jack Swagger. The fearless champion didn't hesitate to step up to the challenge, even if it would end up proving to be the wrong decision. The formidable competitors that await him in the ring have been eager to call themselves the face of the brand on SmackDown. However, coming out on top in this hectic environment is difficult no matter who you are. The match went back and forth and possessed a volatility that meant the match could come to an end at any moment. Each of these competitors were physically drained by the end of this contest, though it would be Sheamus who would go to the distance in this battle and retain the right to call himself World Heavyweight Champion. For the main event, mind games are everywhere in a showdown of eras as Brock Lesnar walks into the most uncertain situation he's seen since returning to the WWE as he defends his reskinned WWE Championship against a pair of serious championship collectors in John Cena and Triple H. This huge showdown quickly became a high-intensity clash of living legends. The ring could hardly contain the immense star power involved here, and each man's durability was put to the test, with high-impact maneuvers and ground-shaking slams being at no premium in this one. John Cena has been focused on once again climbing to the top of the mountain and getting back on his pursuit of the world title, while Triple H believes he always has a justifiable claim to be in the main event picture and continues to insert himself in the title scene. And Brock Lesnar, the champion, intent on doing things his way, and is eager to see who thinks they can stop him. As the match came to an end, each move became that much more crucial. F5s were handed out like candy, and Brock Lesnar was able to come out of Night of Champions successful, still the WWE Champion. If you're enjoying the video, please leave a like and consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't already. We've also got a Patreon account where members will be able to find prompts used for these ChatGPT videos available to bring to your own universe mode. Your support is greatly appreciated. We are back on Raw, and with very little turnover before the next pay-per-view, Mason Ryan and R-Truth are facing off with one another to open up the show. Mason Ryan continues to build momentum by collecting another victory here, though a post-match beatdown by Regal and R-Truth would solidify the bad blood between this group. Kane is in a match with Goldust next, and the Angry Monster would make Goldust pay for coming out to the ring, and end the match with a Tombstone Piledriver. After the match, Pyro erupts on the stage. The unmasked Kane appears, shocking the crowd and masked Kane alike, signaling his return next week. We have got a huge tag team main event next this evening, as WWE Champion Brock Lesnar is teaming alongside Big Show to take on John Cena and Triple H. This is a particularly puzzling situation considering Big Show was a part of the attack on Lesnar a week ago. This would play a large factor in Brock Lesnar walking out on Big Show, leaving the Giant to take an FU as well as a pedigree, resulting in John Cena and Triple H sharing an intense stare-down with clear tensions brewing. The Miz opens up SmackDown, celebrating his newly won Intercontinental Championship. The Miz would remind the crowd of his unfinished business and warns the locker room that he is not done collecting championship gold. Santino Marella and Vladimir Kozlov are set to challenge the tag team champions next in a non-title match. CM Punk and Husky Harris display their dominance and secure a convincing victory here. After the match, Big Show and Edge appear from Monday Night Raw and make a claim for a shot at the tag team titles. New Intercontinental Champion The Miz is teaming alongside Yoshitatsu to compete against Nexus members David Otunga and Heath Slater. Justin Gabriel was present ringside, and Wade Barrett also made the trip down, though he elected to sit at the announce table. Barrett's presence would constantly distract Otunga and Slater, throwing them off their game, and The Miz would hit a skull-crushing finale to secure the victory. After the match, Wade Barrett would scold the Nexus members, blaming them for the recent losses and proclaiming that he is the star of the group. The main event of the night brings a triple threat between Alberto Del Rio, Jack Swagger, and Mark Henry. These competitors were presented with another shot to prove they deserve to challenge for the World Heavyweight Championship, as Swagger and Henry have become rather familiar with one another in the main event scene. Alberto Del Rio was focused on backing up his cocky attitude, and becoming champion may be the only thing that can satisfy the ego of Del Rio. This was an intense contest that resulted in Alberto Del Rio walking away victorious and securing a championship match. The next episode of Raw opens up with Kane speaking to a camera, discussing his time away since losing the WWE Championship and the imposter that took his spot while he was gone. Kane promises to take care of the imposter, as the two will go to battle in a Hell in a Cell match at the namesake pay-per-view. After multiple attacks, Mason Ryan and Daniel Bryan have finally got the chance to get their hands on R-Truth and William Regal in the ring. In a battle between two tag teams that are looking to build some momentum, the Ryan and Bryan connection get their revenge, with Mason Ryan delivering some devastating offense to lead them to victory. Regal would warn Bryan and Ryan that they haven't seen the last of him. Women's champion Eve Torres and Natalya are next to go one-on-one with one another. Eve Torres is riding a wave of confidence after defeating Beth Phoenix, but Eve Torres' momentum would continue and she would collect another victory here. The Big Red Machine is back in the WWE, and he claims the masked Kane has been an imposter since he lost the WWE Championship months ago. Kane would send a message by delivering a dominating performance against Cody Rhodes, although the masked imposter would make his way to the ring, resulting in a brawl between the two. The masked Kane would get an upper hand, delivering a Tombstone Piledriver as the night came to a close. The go-home show to the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view is kickstarted with Alberto Del Rio standing in the ring and making arrangements for his championship celebration that will take place a week from today. World Heavyweight Champion Sheamus interrupts Del Rio and reminds him that he is unlike anything Del Rio has faced before. Kofi Kingston and Yoshitatsu would kick off the in-ring competition against Chavo Guerrero and Drew McIntyre. A hard-hitting and fast-paced match took place with these talented competitors in the ring, and Chavo Guerrero would eventually pick up the victory, signaling that he wants to be in the Cruiserweight title picture. A fired-up Heath Slater would go on to challenge Wade Barrett to a match as the issues with the Nexus continue. David Otunga and Justin Gabriel tried to calm Slater down, but Barrett accepts, telling the Nexus members to stay in the locker room, and the match is set to begin following a short television break. Wade Barrett and Heath Slater would then go at one another. Slater's emotions were apparent through his aggression, but also the mistakes he would make that allowed Wade Barrett to secure the pin cleanly. Wade Barrett would mock Slater on his way back up the entrance ramp, and would be met by Justin Gabriel and David Otunga backstage, who accused Barrett of being a bully instead of a leader. Mark Henry and Alberto Del Rio headline the night, and the world's strongest man doesn't want to accept that he is not part of the pay-per-view come Sunday, and would challenge Del Rio for a spot in the title match. The match commenced and both of these guys did whatever they could to get a leg up on their opposition. While Mark Henry overpowered Del Rio would in fact be able to secure his cross armbreaker and make the big man submit, building some serious momentum for his title bat against another powerhouse in Sheamus. The next pay-per-view on deck is Hell in a Cell, and the night opens with Edge and Big Show challenging CM Punk and Husky Harris for the tag team titles. The team of Edge and Big Show was formed rather suddenly. However, the star power of the former world champions immediately made them a formidable challenge in the tag team division. Husky Harris and CM Punk have been riding a wave of momentum that makes them tough to overcome. The champions were put to the test early, as the challengers came out hot. The champions' persistence was apparent, as they fought back and this match became a competitive championship showdown. In the end, Husky Harris and CM Punk would stand tall and retain their titles. In the next match, Wade Barrett receives his rematch for the Intercontinental title against The Miz. Wade Barrett made his way to the ring without any backup, which is a strange sight to see for the former Intercontinental Champion and Money in the Bank holder. The Miz, another former Money in the Bank holder, is aiming to regain his place on top of SmackDown and sees the Intercontinental Championship as a necessary stepping stone to do so. These two have developed some bad blood over the last couple of months, and their paths continue to cross as they chase a similar goal. Wade Barrett will also have to overcome the mental obstacles caused by his issues with the Nexus faction, and things seem to be crumbling around the man who once seemed on top of the world. A fantastic match came from these two, and it was evident how much being Intercontinental Champion meant to both of these guys. The match went back and forth, and neither man was going to go down easily, as Wade Barrett came back after a skull-crushing finale, and The Miz fought back after receiving a Wasteland Slam. As the match came to an end, The Miz was able to regain momentum, once again planting Wade Barrett with the skull-crushing finale, and successfully defending his championship here. In a huge SmackDown main event, Alberto Del Rio challenges Sheamus for the World Heavyweight Championship. Sheamus has been an unstoppable force since being drafted to SmackDown months ago, and has been conducting a dominant reign as World Champion. Alberto Del Rio has proved himself as a formidable competitor, despite only being on the roster for a short time, as he has continued to topple established main eventers and former champions. This isn't the first time Del Rio has challenged for the title, but this is one of the few times he has got a one-on-one opportunity, and the amount of momentum he is bringing in here may just be the difference maker to knock off the Celtic Warrior. That is much easier said than done though, and Sheamus' overwhelming offense was on display as always. Aggression and physicality were at the forefront in this monumental clash. No matter what Sheamus did, Alberto Del Rio kept coming back and found a way to turn things around on the champ. Alberto Del Rio applied the cross armbreaker, and things were looking bad for the champion. However, Sheamus found a way to break the hold, twice. After an absolute battle, it would be Sheamus to come out on top, walking away with the right to call himself World Heavyweight Champion. In the next match, John Cena challenges Brock Lesnar for the WWE title in his first opportunity to take the championship mano a mano. It's no secret that Brock Lesnar has been dominating Raw and changing the landscape of the WWE since his return earlier in the year. John Cena has been away from the WWE Championship for quite some time and has shown an unwavering determination to regain the title that he believes defines his career. Cena also didn't appreciate when Brock Lesnar reintroduced the WWE Championship's design before John Cena's revolutionary spinner belt came into play. Another hard-hitting match was in store as these two superstars were determined on dismantling their opponent. Brock Lesnar is unrelenting with his offense, and John Cena's resilience is unmatched, making for a true battle of wills. In true Brock Lesnar fashion, he sent Cena through a flurry of suplexes and slams of high impact. However, Cena continued to regain composure, and the brawler maintained a consistent barrage of offense, keeping the beast worn down and depriving him of any moment to catch his breath. Nobody expected John Cena to come out on top of this one, although after a crucial FU, Cena did keep the beast down long enough to collect the 1-2-3 and begin a huge championship celebration as he regained the WWE title. Cena's victory would then be celebrated by an odd yet uplifting group of wrestlers that came out to rejoice in their new champion. The main event of the evening is up next, as two Kanes are going to put one another through hell. Trapped in an unforgiving structure, these two monsters are out to prove superiority as questions and uncertainty are swirled around how this encounter even came about. The original, unmasked Kane took hiatus after losing his WWE Championship, although the WWE Universe never noticed, as an imposter filled his place and conducted business as the former champion. There are a ton of loose ends and questions that need answered, and while full resolution may not be reached here, these two do have the chance to tear one another apart. If one of the Kanes is destroyed here, only one will remain, imposter or not. These two went toe-to-toe with one another, and it truly was like looking into a mirror as their methods and moveset are the same as well as their appearance. A truly hellacious match would take place inside this cage, as the intent of destruction was clear. As these two traded chokeslams, the volatility of the match was peaking, and anything could happen, and anyone could come out on top. The original Kane was taking a beating from his imposter, and if he couldn't pull it out here, this may be the last we would see of him. However, Kane wasn't going to let anything get in the way of the revenge he was seeking, and he would put his imposter down for good with a tombstone piledriver, bringing this match to an end. Make sure you like the video if you want to see the next episode. If we can get this video up to 500 likes, the next episode will come out as quick as possible. Check out the Patreon for exclusive posts and content available to free members, as well as access to ChatGPT prompts used for these videos coming soon, and early viewing access to future videos for paid members. But that's going to do it for me here. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video. Take it easy.